Was this also not the purpose of the VA's Inspector General's report about the quality care issues regarding our son? We were given assurances that steps would be taken to timely to assure that there would not be another Jeffrey. Then approximately 2.5 years later, after our Jeff died, there was Jonathan Lucey of Stewart, Minnesota, who died on January 16, 2007, in the identical fashion of our son, after having gone to the VA seeking help. Was this also not the purpose of the Walter Reed expose and the government's immediate verbal reaction that they would address the issues? And then the CBS News in November 2007, which reported that in the year 2005, this nation was losing an average of 120 veterans per week to suicide. In the midst of all this, the Dale Shalala report was issued. People took note, and we asked, what timely and what truly has been done? In December, Michael and Kim Bowman of Illinois recounted their beloved son Tim's story within the halls of Congress. But again, we find ourselves asking, what has been done? The Joshua Umfig bill has turned into law, but that is only the first steps in a long journey if we are truly to honor and support our troops and you veterans. But what more has been done? Many say these words, honor and support our troops, and very few mean them. It is our belief that this is shown so evidently when all people do is talk. Even as we talk today, how many more of our beloved troops and veterans have put a noose around their necks or loaded a bullet in the chambers? For helpless and hopeless colors their tear-filled eyes as they seek refuge from their agonies. This is not moral, this is not ethical. It is not right for people to use our loved ones for political gain. Due to our lack of response as a nation, our government, past Congresses, and probably this Congress, they've all enshrouded the people of this nation, all of us, in shame, disgrace, and dishonor in regard to the treatment of our veterans. We ask the question which veteran Pat Scanlon sings of, where is the rage? We call upon you and the nation to take action necessary to right this terrible wrong. We have taken the limited action which we could. We are not suing this nation. Our family is suing this VA and this government for failing our son and all those who have followed behind him. Let their legacy, it is not, as some would have you believe, to call for more of our men and women to shed their blood. Their legacy should be twofold. That of primary prevention, to end this war and never begin another by choice through either deception, ignorance, or the combination of both, as well as the establishment of the world's best and most advanced healthcare system known to mankind for our warriors and our veterans. Not a healthcare system which creates hurdles and impediments to accessing it. Why must we have a specific piece of paper to show the VA to qualify for services in this age of computerization? We put a demand on a veteran to search for a piece of paper as possibly that veteran struggles to take his or her next breath trying to stay alive. Why must you travel many miles to access locales where help is located? Many must do this while at the same time confronting the fears and the imaginations of stigma as well as their own personal vulnerabilities. Then, if fortunate to get to be assessed or stabilized, this present lack of resources make the wait time for services unconscionable. Let us look into these issues even further, which will raise the question, has this system designed to help those afflicted with hidden wounds broken down? the delays to access assessments, the refusal to assess for PTSD while demanding a period of sobriety and substance-free, including even the prescribed medications which may have been prescribed by other VA departments or personnel. Once diagnosed, the tremendous lack of resources for treatment, the apparent lack of standardization throughout the system throughout this nation, the lack of follow-up and involvement with the veterans as well as the family. These are only to name a few. We as a nation must take action. We need to educate the community, police, community health personnel, judicial correctional personnel, first responders about combat-related trauma and PTSD. We need to meet the mental health labeling issue. Is PTSD mental health, or is it actually a normal reaction to the completely abnormal situation? This variable itself compounds the issue of stigma. We need to have a Congress and the administration stop the talk of how they support and honor the troops. They must actually do it. We ask how veterans in positions of power and where they could have actually have made a difference. What happened? Where were they? How could they and others over the decades abandoned and left behind their less fortunate brothers and sisters in arms? How could they let this healthcare system become so dysfunctional, especially for all of our loved ones who have sacrificed so much for this nation? Where have the large veterans organizations been? Over the past year, so few voices have been heard from the halls of Congress and fewer from the executive branch. In fact, in 2005, additional funding requests for PTSD treatment disappeared from supplemental budgets while in the darkness of conference committees. Why? We need to apply the resources of this great nation and our people to care for our veterans. We must develop creative, effective programs such as the SAVE program, as established under the Secretary of Veterans Services in Massachusetts, Tom Kelly, to do outreach and actually embrace our veterans and bring them to the help. We need to have the VA challenge itself to move itself from being a lumbering, slothful behemoth to a dynamic, energized, active caregiver, a system in which no one would ever even consider rewarding themselves with $36,000 bonuses while there is so much to be done and so little time to do it. For a nation and her people are only as good and great as her people's treatment and care for her warriors, those whom have sacrificed so much. Let us go forth in the names of the known and those unknown, uncounted and unacknowledged, and let us never forget them. In their memories, let us never have to start a war with such ignorance and deception, never to rush and plunge this great nation into a war of choice, and to be totally unprepared to care for our warriors once returned home. Though there will never be a memorial to all of our loved ones, let their names never fade from your hearts or memories, such as Walter Padilla, T.J. Sweet, Jason Cooper, Philip Kent, and with the names of so many more. Jeffrey is not the only tragedy. We are not the only family. We and Jeffrey stand proudly and tall with military families speak out, and the Gold Star family speak out, and especially as we stand together with all of you today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Joyce and Kevin.